Let's work towards getting to a better place. I can't be with a person that don't love me back and treats me like this. I'm scared. I can't.
Yeah, well, I'm scared too.
Just about the only thing that Molly's scared about is all of her lies being exposed, which is exactly what we're going to do in this video, so make sure you stay until the end. I had a look at Molly's Instagram the other day and I found something very interesting. The caption on those posts reads, "Feeling snatched, thanks Pletches for this waistline. Are you tired of feeling that forever bloat in your stomach? There is a better way. Message me at Pillow Talk Princess for your gut health / bloat to be gone combo." You're such a liar, Molly. When you zoom in on this photo, you can clearly see that the background's distorted because she face-tuned her waistline inward so that she can appear more skinny, like she has an hourglass shape when we all know she doesn't. Caught in another lie, Molly. Hey, do y'all want to feel snatched too and download Facetune and push your stomach inward like Molly? Well, download Facetune. This video is not sponsored by anyone, but if it was sponsored by Facetune, here's the time. And then I would take a picture and I would put my waist inward and I would Facetune my butt bigger like Kim K.
I know how I feel about him, and when you hear somebody tell you you never loved me, that hurts.
The 90 Day Fiance fans already know that Molly's disingenuous and a liar because of what we've seen from the present season of 90 Day The Last Resort and what we've read off camera.
How do you respond to that?
I've always told her I love her with all my heart.
I love this lady. I love her. I know you do. Last night.
So this is a licensed therapist, and he doesn't find it sus that just now and even before this, Molly had every opportunity to say I love you back to Kelly, but didn't. And does the self-proclaimed therapist bring that up or challenge her on that? No, he's just on to the next talking point like a good little TLC employee. Now, devil's advocate, perhaps he's not as well read on the situation as we are because of our last video. We know that Molly wants to go and bang the kingpin guy, not Kelly. When Angela Deem got in Liz's face and threatened her with physical violence, the next day one of the self-proclaimed therapists shows up, talks to Angela, tells her that there was a bit of a noise complaint. Like, she was very diplomatic the way she said it. We would have been more honest. And instead of holding the dirty bird accountable or disciplining her in any way, shape, or form, they instead reward her by giving her private sessions with Michael. So not only are these therapists incompetent, but they're also capped. Like when the therapist that looked like Jenny laid Ed down on a bed to explore who he was in a past life.
So I'm going to hypnotize you, and then I'm going to instruct your soul to take you back to a lifetime that you had.
It's a load of crap.
And because Ed treats every therapy session like a joke, he said that he was a leprechaun and people were mean to him in a past life.
Last night we saw progress. You guys hugged. Today you're crying. Don't you see the progress? There's progress.
Yeah, is there progress, dude? Or are you just doing the most to try and convince them that there's progress? About 3 minutes into episode 5, the therapist assigns Molly and Kelly homework, which is...
I would like you guys to have a date. Whatever you decide to do. Where you don't sit there and talk about the problems, don't talk about him not having goals. Maybe you talk about some of the happiest moments. You reflect, okay?
Oh, okay, interesting. So instead of having those uncomfortable conversations and getting to the root of the problems that we all have when we go to therapy, you instead want them to play pretend and go on a date and pretend like everything's okay, bet. So Molly and Kelly agree to this. She says to the audience, "I know that moving to Georgia was hard for Kelly and I had to take some of the blame for that, but I'm hopeful that when Kelly and I do the assignment, we can remember how we fell in love." Notice how Molly acknowledges that the move for Kelly was hard, but doesn't go into detail about what made the move hard for him. She wants to talk about remembering how they fell in love, all the while thinking of another dude and saying nothing but negative things about Kelly on and off camera. But hey, let's look on the bright side. We're excited to see how playing pretend goes. The next cringe cast members we see are Ed and Liz walking on the beach. Ed is sporting Crocs and a sleeveless shirt. He says that he can swim for a little bit, but then he sinks. And when he says this, I'm side-eyeing him hard because with one look at him, we can tell that he floats.
Whenever I go into the ocean, I always bring my floaties.
What a cringe, desperate attempt for attention this is, as him and Liz are blowing up the American flag floaties. Obviously, they drew some inspiration from Angela because she's always wearing American flag anything. Liz says to the audience, "I've never blown up my partner's floaties before. I've blown up at him, but I've never blown up floaties." Camera one, zoom in on Liz's face right now. This is how you know you've hit rock bottom. And when I see Ed's lower button hang on for dear life, I remember that not only does she blow up his floaties, she also blows him. A lot more fans would like Liz if she actually stood for something and stood by what she says. And what I mean by that is, in the past couple episodes, she's been getting irritated at Ed just about every episode because he doesn't take one thing seriously on this retreat. Now in episode 5, she's helping him put on his American flag floaties. So what do you stand for, Elizabeth? Are you actually irritated about that? Because right now you just seem like an enabler. You're laughing about it. You think it's funny. And because of that, there's so many fans that say your relationship is made for TV. Liz laughs and says to the audience that Ed is embarrassing. And when she says this, I laugh and I say that y'all are both embarrassing. And this is gym motivation right here. Let's make sure we stay on top of it. If you're eating food right now, you might want to put the food down because the next person we see is the dirty bird. It's no wonder why all these skincare brands are lining up at the door to work with Angela. I wouldn't be surprised if one day she had a palette in Sephora made out of cigarettes.
Michael was like a damn rodeo cowboy last night, and let's just say the ocean wasn't anything wet last night.
Dude, that's fucking haram. I can't believe that the network wants to make this a thing. Why are we trying to make Angela Dean talking about sexual things a thing? So the network felt like it was necessary to give Angela a vibrator that Michael can control from Africa. I know, technology is advancing at a rapid pace.
Look what I'm wearing. Michael's penis.
Oh. Michael then asks Angela if she doesn't wear the vibrator, how will he know that she's thinking about him? And she says, I guess I can put in my bathing suit because you love sucking on these titties. And when she says this, I'm so thankful that my little brother isn't here because he would actually jump off my balcony. The next couple we see is Molly and Kelly, and the therapist actually picked out a really fire date for them today. They're gonna be bowling on the beach with coconuts.
Kelly and I didn't end on very good terms last night, but I don't want to let Dr. Jason down.
Forget letting Dr. Jason down, Molly. This is about saving your relationship with the guy you've been with the past couple of years. Who cares about what Dr. Jason thinks? This is actually another pet peeve of mine. I hate when mothers ignore their children or their partner, but they instead pay more attention to fucking strangers and what strangers think about them. Why does it matter what NPCs think about you?
Keep talking that. Keep talking that. It's all about the slide.
Without a whistle and a flag, that'd be excessive celebration, but Molly, great shot. Kelly right now is happy that him and Molly are having fun. He says to the audience, she always hustles me because she pretends that she's this dainty girl, but turns out to be a superstar. So it shows that there's still a connection there. Dude, this is so sad. You're obviously in denial because those 2 points have nothing to do with each other. And to make matters worse, it's Kelly's turn next and he whiffs his shot, and then Molly says the struggle is real and starts laughing at him. What an L this is. Look at this resort they're staying at. It's actually wasted on them because these people should be at Joe's Crab Shack, not this place. The next couple we see is Jovi and Yara, who failed their assignment given to them by the sex therapist. The assignment was to cuddle and they ended up piping hard.
Our homework from the sex therapist was to cuddle, no sex.
You failed.
You failed too.
Now here's my criticism for Jovi. What you're doing makes no sense, man, because you seem very eager to go to strip clubs when your wife is probably better looking than any stripper in that place, and she's also not a stripper. You should only want to fuck your wife, which is why you married this woman, and you promised in front of friends, family, and God to spend the rest of your life with her. So for Jovi, you gotta grow up, man. And the only reason why I brought this up is because later in the episode, Asuelu, Kelly, and Jovi all go get drinks together. They have boys' time, which I think is a great idea. However, the conversation topic comes up about strip clubs because Asuelu's never been because they're not allowed in Samoa. So Jovi jumps at the opportunity because he's looking for any excuse to go to a strip club.
I think going to a strip club is essential to learning American culture. And I think for someone like Asuelu, taking him to the strip club could be good. I want to, open his eyes. Strip clubs have beautiful women, good music, look, but don't touch.
It's a fun place to be as a single guy. When you're married, Shouldn't be there. And not only is it immoral, but it's disrespectful to your wife because she's putting in a lot of work into looking great for herself and for you. You're putting in a lot of work too. I see y'all do sit-ups and kiss and shit on the show. You guys do a lot of cute activities together. You did yoga classes together. If anything, I would like to see some of these other people that let themselves go do workout sessions together or do activities together. Asuelu wants Kalani to remember that they're at this resort to repair their relationship and only think about him when she touches herself, but he cheated on her in the past a lot of times, and he hasn't put in any effort to take her out on a date or anything. So, you know what? Jovi is doing a lot better things than Asuelu. However, why go to a strip club?
So, babe, do I bring up to the sex therapist that when I did that sucking thing, you were moaning and laughing. I couldn't concentrate.
Ew, I don't know what kind of sucky thing he's talking about, but I guess it felt so good for Liz that she let him hit. And she said to the audience that their relationship is back in a good place. And when she says this, I'm looking around because your relationship has never been in a good place before.
We had a good talk, and then we failed our homework assignment. The assignment was to explore arousal without penetration.
We would have got A for effort, F for a grade.
This is a happy F minus.
Elizabeth is acting like an NPC right now. She's like that girl from 50 First Dates that repeats the same day every day and forgets what happens the previous day. Because when Ed didn't protect her from Angela Dean when she almost got beat up, that was only in episode 3. We're now in episode 5. Not to mention, he still hasn't apologized for not protecting her, which is the basic duty of any man, to protect his woman.
Technically, we cheated on our homework.
Maybe that wasn't sex, that was making love, man.
You're disgusting.
Well, let's look on the bright side, Socks. At least she's not our daughter. I'm sure that Ed's gonna do a real bang-up job raising her daughter because he did such a good job raising his. Anyways, because she fondled those plums and they made sweet, sweet love.
I could feel it down in my plums. Getting ready to take them to the farmer's market.
Ed feels like it's an appropriate time to ask Liz if she's ready to move with him to Arkansas so that they can live close to his family there.
Are you coming with me to Arkansas or what?
I will be more thrilled to have this conversation once we work through a couple more obstacles.
The next time we see Molly and Kelly, they're on a pier and they tell each other that they didn't do their homework. To add insult to injury, Molly goes on to say that Kelly's boring when it comes to sex, when it's like earlier during the sex ed class, she rated their sex life an 8 out of 10. Would you rate that an 8 out of 10 if it was boring?
You're boring.
Wow.
Kelly's just shaking his head because at this point, it just seems like Molly's annoyed by his very existence. She says, I told you, Kelly, I wanted to explore. We should have went to the toy store. I was gonna show you things. You're boring when it comes to sex, Kelly, because you didn't want to involve a vibrating piece of plastic into our sex life. Kelly, for the next relationship, when you hear some whack-ass shit like that, that's when you pack your bags and you go back to New York City. I just gotta know why you didn't take charge with that. Take charge with what, you fucking weirdo? I can't believe you actually said that out loud. You want Kelly to be like Mr. Cuck? Oh, my little sugar plum, thank you for telling me I'm a loser and making me feel like shit about myself today. My penis is not enough to sexually satisfy you, so how about you get in the car and we drive to get a vibrator so that we can involve it in the bedroom, and every time I get fully torqued and want to penetrate you, I can hear bzzz. Let's cut out the bullshit right now. I know that a lot of girls have vibrators. Here's the thing. If you need to involve your vibrator in the bedroom with your guy, if he doesn't make you wet and you don't love his dick, he's probably not the right guy for you. Role reversal. Kelly, you gotta treat this relationship as a lesson, man. This woman is constantly emasculating you. Even this argument is ridiculous, but instead of standing up for yourself, you walked away. You walked away in every argument. You're just surrendering so much ground that she doesn't respect you as a man, which is why she treats you like dog shit. Kelly says to the audience, I don't know if she's just doing this to be spiteful, but I always ask Molly what are her likes versus dislikes in the bedroom, foreplay, everything. I've always communicated with her. Kelly, don't worry, we believe you, and we can see that by how she's been against you since day one and bad-mouthing you on this show since day one. However, she still had to admit that the sex was great, so...
I got my hysterectomy, I'm raring to go, the flower's rocking and rolling, and you're just
babe,
like...
babe.
Oh, please, unoriginal idea. She's trying to make it similar to Jasmine and Gino's segment. She constantly disrespects Gino, and the result of that is Gino doesn't want to have sex with her. The difference is Kelly likes to have sex, and he enjoys it, and you already said that the sex is good. So if he was unmotivated to have sex with you, knowing what we know, it might have something to do with your infidelity, Molly.
After Kelly moved to Georgia, I thought we were going to be doing it every day. I wanted to feel desired, and I never ever felt like he desired me.
That right there was a fucking airball, Molly.
God damn it, Wetsock, you bitch!
And from Kelly showing restraint here, not bringing up a lot of the negative circumstances that he experienced in Georgia as a result from you and your daughter, it shows me that not only does he still love Molly, but he cares about her reputation still.
I want to be attracted to you again and to feel that feeling. I just don't know. I know for me personally, there's a lot of things that have to be resolved.
With Kelly and Molly concerned, this is class versus no class. And Molly, you were attracted to the badge, not necessarily Kelly. In typical Molly fashion, she's reaching for any reason to blame Kelly for why the relationship didn't work out. So she starts to talk about the trauma that he experienced from working as a police officer in New York City for 20 years.
You do not want to talk about past relationships. You don't want to talk about things that upset you. You don't want to talk about your trauma with your career. And until you have closure from that, there's no way we can move forward.
Wow, that is so crummy to try and weaponize this man's trauma and try to pin that as the reason why your relationship didn't work out when you have been unfaithful to this man. You didn't protect him from your daughter's allegations. If anything, you almost ruined his life with those allegations. You treat him very cruelly. I wouldn't treat my worst enemy the way that you treat this man. She made the conversation so loaded that it becomes too much for Kelly. He once again walks away because he doesn't want to embarrass her on national TV.
I dealt with a lot of high pressure cases and the environment was just not good, period. But she's using my career as a scapegoat instead of taking accountability of her actions.
And hey, let's go, Kelly. That's what I'm talking about. He's aware of the situation. Now, I would like to see him go full Skyrim mode and level up that speechcraft because I want to see him flame Molly.
I need you to acknowledge that you got a lot of trauma too within your family, yourself.
I do.
All I
I'm
hear
not
is me.
denying that at all.
Okay.
No,
That's
I'm
all.
not
As long as we
denying
meet
that.
each other halfway, that's all I ask. Meet halfway.
Okay, y'all both have trauma. Now make her apologize for calling you boring, Kelly, or at the very least explain it. That's the problem with some of these arguments. They jump from topic to topic, but there's not enough depth or closure. Kelly says that he's gonna look inside of himself, buddy. What is there to look inside of? This girl treats you like dog shit. Not to mention the way she steers conversations is so low level that I'm surprised you were manipulated here. So Molly gets her way, takes zero accountability for all the toxic shit that she does, and her and Kelly end up hugging.
What?
Cutscene to Ed and Liz. They have a session with a therapist that looks just like Jenny, and they even bring up that she looks exactly like Jenny.
One of the tools that I use with clients is past life regression. And that is where I go back to the past life and create healing for people by healing their past life trauma with hypnosis.
Do not put a spell on me, Gypsy. You know what? I played World of Warcraft and I've been to carnivals, so I've seen a lot of people like this that think they're wizards. We're gonna travel back in time to see what past trauma you experienced in a past life that's affecting you in the present life. What a load of bullshit this is, huh? This right here seems like one of the ridiculous things that people invented during Rona because they were bored.
You probably don't know this, but I channel from spirit, and they have given me all of these ways to heal people. And if you can't see the reason from childhood, oftentimes those things are taking place in a past lifetime.
I love how Liz is staring at this therapist right now like, tell me more, you strange wizard. I'm surprised Liz is still there. I would be laughing hysterically in this woman's face. Since we're playing fucking kiddie games in therapy, I would pretend that I was Jack from the Titanic in a past life and I would act out drowning.
You're now in a deeply relaxed state. You'll be able to remember everything.
Instead of talking about past life bullshit like the clown you are, why don't you teach everyone about the sound relationship house or something that could actually benefit their relationship?
I'm trying so hard to make my relationship with Kalani work, and I'm not gonna give up.
You haven't been working hard on your relationship at all. You haven't taken her on one nice date. You've been cheating on her for years, and she's been forgiving you for years. The damage is done, Asuelu.
We have no therapy session today, so I asked the boys if they wanna go out, have a drink, and have some guys time.
Any guy actually capable of thought would understand that you lost this woman. You lost her love, you lost her trust, you lost her devotion. You gotta win that shit back, dude. You're so hyper-focused on figuring out whether she's thinking about this Dallas guy or not.
Like, did you think of him, or did you think about something else while you do your homework, like what I did, or?
You should be thinking about taking her out on a nice date. TLC's paying for everything anyway. Order a bottle of champagne, order some roses. You could take an Uber to a grocery store and buy 3 arrangements of flowers and put them all together. It's about the effort, Asuelu. We want to see effort. Have you ever seen the movie Braveheart? It's one of my favorite movies of all time, even though the representation of Robert the Bruce was absolute trash. We can talk about that another time. Asuelu, you could learn a lot from young William Wallace. His dad and his brother were tragically killed. He went to the funeral and there was a nice girl that showed sympathy for him. She picked a flower and she gave it to him. His uncle shows up and takes him abroad so he can learn how to use his head and how to fight. This is the big part for all you shitters. After focusing on himself and leveling himself up as a man, he returns to his hometown. William shows up back in town as a man and he sees the girl that gave him the flower, and guess what? Turns out she's drop dead gorgeous grown up, and he's so excited to take her out on a date. So what does he do? Even though he looks a little rough around the edges, he's a gentleman and he's respectful. So he rides his horse to this woman's house and asks her parents for permission to ride with her. The parents hesitate, the girl doesn't. She jumps on horseback with him and they ride off to the Scottish countryside. They start talking, he finds out she can't read, so he tells her that he's gonna teach her how to read. Right away, he's gonna give her a skill. He's gonna impart wisdom and teach her something she doesn't know how to do. That's incredibly attractive. And then he says in what language, because he speaks multiple languages. That was a good line and super swaggy. And then he says in French that he's thought about her every day. And if you think that's real romantical, later when he drops her off at home, he hands her something wrapped in a cloth, smiles at her, and walks back to his horse. She opens it up, and it's the flower that she gave him at the funeral. He fucking kept it after all these years, because what was on his mind was, this woman showed up for me and was there for me at my darkest moment, and that's the person that I'm gonna love forever. And he kept it for all these years while he was leveling up. In the back of his head, he already fucking knew. That's the woman I want to be with. Asuelu, look at me. That's a lot of effort, isn't it? Now, instead of putting in any effort to get your woman to fall in love with you again, you're instead prioritizing hanging out with the boys.
I asked the boys if they wanna go out, have a drink, and have some guys time.
What an idiot.
Here's the harsh reality of the situation, buddy. Your wife is fingering herself to home videos of another man, and it's all your fault because of where you're placing your time. Jovi says to the audience, I think everyone deserves a break from therapy. It has been hot and heated, and being in the Keys, it's a really fun place. You know, a lot of strip clubs here. Jovi's always got those strip clubs on his mind. Dude, if this was any of us, I feel like our mind would be on that Cuban food or that really good seafood that they got over there. While the guys are having their bro time, the girls are having their girl time. Kalani and Yara are talking about the pros to bringing kids to the resort versus the pros to not bringing the kids to the resort. Next thing you know, if you're eating food, take your food out of your mouth, because the Dirty Bird rolls up wearing an American flag onesie bikini. I'll be honest, the Dirty Bird surprises me here, because the first thing she does is compliment Yara's boobs. Then she actually takes the initiative to apologize to Yara for the other night, because Angela was drinking with Jovi, and Angela thought to herself with her booze brain, wow, we're having so much fun, we should include Yara on the fun. So her and Jovi went to Yara's hotel room and woke her up. And Yara didn't like that much because, one, she doesn't want to get woken up, and two, she doesn't want to drink with Angela. Yara tells Angela to please respect her boundaries. Angela agrees and apologizes. They cheers, and it seems like everybody's cool now. There is a certain level of respect that Angela has for Yara that she doesn't have for Liz. And I think what it comes down to is, even though Yara looks like Barbie, I think she would rock Angela's shit. And Angela knows that if she tries to get big or threaten her with physical violence, she will get cracked. Next, we see the boys at the bar having a wicked awesome time.
I love this guy, man.
Me too, he's fun.
Man, I need to be around you more often.
I'm here, bro.
Thank you for coming and get us.
Yes,
Come on the bike
yes.
and come over here, because this is fun.
Yes.
So the boys all ask each other how they did with their homework assignments, and Jovi has a big smile on his face, says that he failed his homework assignment, and all the guys are like, okay, we know what that means. You clapped your wife's cheeks. Must be nice, because our women don't even like us. Jovi then brings up his favorite talking point, going to a strip club, even though they're on a TV show that's about reigniting the sparks in their relationship at couples therapy. Jovi also brings up that the last time he went to a strip club with Yara, it caused a huge fight because Yara wanted to leave. She felt very uncomfortable being there with her man that's staring at another girl's nakedness. And when she said that to him, he said, no, I like it here, I want to stay. Yeah, that's disrespectful, bro. Anyone would feel disrespected by that. Next video, we're going to be reviewing episode 6 of the show, and then the video after that, I'm going to San Diego to celebrate my little brother's birthday. So we will be reviewing episode 7 with our little brother Christian. If you got some spare change in your couch, check out our merch. If you want some one-on-one time with me, please order a Cameo. I'm the #1 Cameo creator in the entire world. Excited to talk to y'all one-on-one. Super thankful y'all watch my content. Comment below, subscribe. Let's be friends, let's be friends. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.